YouTube reset my stream key again.
Oh
That's
no.
what happened. Hold on. Now I'm definitely okay. Now YouTube is receiving something. I would like to thank Slobs for
I just
totally
got the
like.
notification.
Well, at least we're only 8 minutes late this time, whereas last week and the week before it was like close to a half hour. I I don't know why. So, you guys probably noticed like at first the stream was scheduled an hour earlier than it was supposed to because YouTube wiped all my default stream settings. So I had to retype in the description, the title, the thumbnail, re-add in the scheduled time, and it reset the time zone that I was going to be in. And apparently, it reset the stream key since then because I know last night I changed the stream key, and apparently today it. ah,
What are you gonna do? There's always something.
yeah. Well, then Slobs, it shows like the YouTube chat on the side, and it was
Hmm.
showing the YouTube chat, and it didn't have an error thing pop up. So I was like, okay, yeah, we're good. We should be fine. There's no error. It's showing the chat. Everything's all right.
Well, I'm actually now seeing like everything working fine now. So,
Yeah,
yay, we're
everything.
alive. We haven't been talking for like about 5 or so minutes
Yeah.
before everything started.
Hey, Amber. Hey, Inspector Who. Hey, everybody. We said hi to you, but
Hey
that wasn't
guys.
streamed. So we were saying hello and hello to Hannah
Uh,
Ray and Lenora and Brandon Dodge. So
what's up, guys? Sorry we've had a few technical issues, but hopefully, knock on wood, it's all sorted now.
yeah, they're
Just keep your fingers crossed for the rest of the stream,
they
guys.
missed our hot takes on Hot Topic, Funko Pops and a sweatshirt. Gosh, these
Maybe we'll bring that
people.
up later.
Yeah. Hey. Oh, Lee is just like, I just barely got the alert for this. That's because technically we
Me
just
too.
started.
we are we are playing catch up just like you guys.
This season of VYTALCast is cursed. Yeah.
Hey, we're back. Let's actually get started.
Yeah. Okay, so we were about to start talking about Genlog and season 2, and I was saying, hey, last week my friends who know some of the people that work with Red versus Blue and Genlock were like, we don't think season 2 is happening. And then this week it was confirmed. So like, big congrats, but we were saying like it might be a handful of people at Rooster Teeth might know. There's the TLDR.
Yeah.
Uh,
Basically, we were just saying there's like probably with the whole reshuffling of many things regarding Rooster Teeth, not just in regards to obviously Grey leaving being a big thing regarding Genlock, but
mhm.
Rooster Teeth as a whole. We imagine like some of the information has only just started to fiddle through, and then obviously the article now, like announcing it, and yeah, there's quite a lot to talk about the release program and the schedule.
Yeah.
David, do you want to start with the host as well for that?
Okay, yeah, I'll take that. It's a shame they really missed both of us going yeah when we
Yeah.
first mentioned Genlock because that
To
wasn't
be
streamed.
fair, like I said when we were trying before, I've not been mentally prepared to talk about this because we've had this schedule for a while, and I thought we were just going to be talking about predictions for Volume 7, which we will get into Ruby stuff. Don't
Yeah.
worry. But
Well, this
obviously, this
topic
just
will
got
tie into
dropped on our
Ruby.
flap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This and like I already stuff that wasn't on stream that I talk about, huh?
Mm.
So Brandon Dodge said, wait, was it Brandon Dodge or was it? Yeah, it was Brandon Dodge. He said, so apparently HBO is funding season 2? Question mark. That hasn't been confirmed, but definitely AT&T, who owns both
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth and HBO, has stepped in and is probably funding and made the decision for why. It,
It's more than likely that AT&T is the big reason why Green season 2 is being greenlit. Obviously, like
mhm.
David said, they own Warner Media, which owns was like in control of Rooster Teeth. They
Yep.
own HBO, and yeah, we were talking about like how barely anyone seemed to feel sure that Genlock season 2 was going to be a thing,
Yeah.
and I think just straight off the bat, I think one of the biggest reasons why AT&T or like whoever did give the green light for it is on board doing it is the names attached to the series. Like,
Yeah.
I think that's the big reason why I think Genlock is still alive is the fact that you got Michael B. Jordan, you got David Tennant, you got Macy Williams,
Hmm.
Dakota Fanning, you got all those there. I think, to be fair, if they didn't have those big names attached to Genlock, I think this would have been a one and done. I think they would brush their hands off, or everyone would brush their hands off, especially with the crunch discussions, like
Yeah.
some of the discussed elements of how the animation side's gone. I think they would have just said, you know what, fine, we'll brush our hands off of this, we'll move on.
Yeah.
And that would have been a shame because I think even though we both enjoyed Genlock, there's
I really loved
obviously
it.
some sides where it could have been better.
Yeah. It wasn't
But I
as
think that
dark as I expected it to be. It had some
no,
really dark moments, but overall, compared to like dark to lightness
mm,
ratio, I expected it to be more on the dark side than it was.
yeah, I think the Genlock is a rare case where it's like there's obviously some stuff behind the scenes that causes some raised eyebrows, but you could still see some potential there.
Oh yeah.
I think Genlock could still be drugged up from the mud and be able to become something good at the very least. Um, I think Arnold made a fantastic analogy where it's like it feels kind of tainted almost in the same way as Metal Gear Solid 5 and the
Hmm.
stuff with Konami. To give a TLDR there, uh, Konami wasn't really handling Kojima the best. And obviously, once that came to light and Kojima left, things made a bit awkward regarding Metal Gear Solid 5. I think that is, again, like Arnold said, a fantastic analogy. Something very similar for Genlock. I think all the dirt around it is going to be hard to ignore.
Hmm.
But now we're in this case where it's like, do you want to continue supporting the potential and the actual real good work put into this product from the animators, the actors, and so forth, or do you just want to cut ties now? And then we go into the fact that it's going to be on HBO Max, and that's
Hmm.
a whole different kettle of fish.
Yeah. I I mean, honestly, like, I wished it would have been like simultaneously released on both
Mm.
platforms because I feel like that would get it spread around more evenly. But another thing that Arnold brought up with that analogy was like, oh, if you buy Metal Gear Solid 5, the money would still be going to Kojima, not wait, am
Yeah,
I? Yeah, I'm not huge on Metal Gear
yeah.
Solid,
So
but
the basic case is that it should still go to Rooster Teeth and to the crew. They're still going to be paid for the work that they do, which is
yeah,
the best. We want, obviously, after all the crunch stuff, we want the crew to get the funding, the support, the handling that they deserve,
the
and they
proper work
need.
environment. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. And if this helps towards that, then that is a positive, especially
Hmm.
with TV money or TV streaming money. That is a big market right now. That's why every platform is getting their own streaming service.
Yeah, and since like Game of Thrones just ended earlier this year, HBO is kind of desperate for their next big thing that'll
Yeah,
be
and
more on a longer run.
again, that's why I think they also were so hot for this project because of the names attached to it. Like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're gonna bring in this new animated show. It's got Michael B. Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
David Tennant, Dakota Fanning. You got all these guys attached to it that is gonna bring in some new audience beyond just the audience that's already been established.
Yeah.
But then again, you're giving it to a platform that's not even out yet, as far as I know. And one thing that really irks me
Mm-hmm.
is it's not even coming out to the rest of the world. It only seems to be coming out to North America.
Yeah, I
And
remember some
yeah,
people like Lenora earlier in the chat was just saying like I don't even have the option to pay for this, and
no. From what I know, at least in regards to how it's released in the UK, even though I'm here in Spain,
mm-hmm.
um, I believe with the UK they have a sort of a contract agreement where they have HBO shows go to uh, Sky, which is like our big cable
Oh
here.
yeah, I know what Sky is. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think Game of Thrones, for example, was like on Sky Atlantic.
Hmm.
I think there's also Now TV. They give shows to that, and maybe that will be the case for this. But if it's going to a streaming site, I can't see them wanting to stream it in one country and then release it to TV separate.
Yeah, I think it will definitely come out on Toonami again at the very least. And
Yeah, I can imagine that maybe.
Is Toonami more international?
We don't have Toonami.
Gee, gosh,
We
okay.
had we had the original Toonami. We've not had it since.
Okay, so ever since it's been brought back, it hasn't come back. That is,
Mm.
yeah.
And then it's not just also the fact that it's not coming out in North America.
Mhm.
It's the 90 days.
Yeah, it's
That
90
is
days.
that's the biggest stinger, I think. The fact that it's
That big of a wait.
yeah, I think it's the fact that we have to already pay what we do for first
Mhm.
subscription, which I totally understand, even with the increased prices
Oh
over the
yeah,
years.
yeah. Especially with
Um,
their reasoning this time for why they raised it is like, hey, we want to compensate our workers properly for when that crunch time
yeah,
comes.
and
It's
again,
like
that's great.
that's a good move. Yeah.
Mm. The issue now is those like we already paid in advance to help this series grow in the first place,
Hmm.
and there is an audience that does feel excited for season two.
Oh yeah, I have a lot of
And for those
friends.
who are, yeah,
Oh, I was gonna say I have a lot of friends that there's only two things they're interested in relation to Rooster Teeth. It's RWBY and Genlock.
and
And
I'm sure
when
there's a lot of people like that.
they heard there was like possibly no Genlock happening, they were devastated. They're like, "Yeah, I don't think I'll pay for a first membership anymore. I'd probably just get Verve or whatever." Uh, but whereas when they had both shows, they're like, "Oh, I'll totally pay for a first membership year round, even though those are the only two shows I watch." And
Yeah.
I haven't talked to them since this new announcement, so I don't know
Mm.
how this changes their opinion or not. But it,
And Amber brings up a great point as well. Avoiding spoilers is gonna be the death.
yeah, especially when
'Cause,
we're reactors who want to go in blind.
yeah, and in this day and age where spoilers are within seconds on Twitter
Hmm.
for anything, or even before that, it's gonna be a case where now, as content creators, for one,
Hmm.
is gonna have to completely change our product. We're gonna have to ignore a lot of things to try and get the freshest take we can for reactions. We're gonna have to try to avoid as much as we can for reviews, and then in
Yep.
like cases like me where we're not even able to watch it in the first place, that is going to be even harder. And at this point, obviously, I did reviews and reactions. At
Hmm.
this point, I might just not be able to do anything until like a full season review, and that is a real shame because again, I am hopeful for Genlock's future, but this is a big stumbling block that even if it was a month, I
Hmm.
would still be a bit sour on, but I would understand. 90
Yeah.
days. 90 days, all the stuff for Genlock could come out like that,
Yep.
and then in 60 days, the hype is gone.
Yeah. And
And that is a big problem, I
part
think.
part of me wonders if they're thinking like, okay, the hype will die in 90 days. So if we release it again on a separate platform,
Mm.
I'm assuming it's going to be back on the weekly basis, so it's not going to be the full season all 90 days. And so I wonder if they're going to use that to like get the interest back up, like cuz they're hitting those different
Maybe.
demographics. But
But that's.
Lee brought up a point that my mom was yelling at about, my mom of all people. She thinks that like HBO Max should be given to some first members who wanted to support the
Yes.
show.
I think I've seen that being discussed as well elsewhere. I think
Mhm.
if you give us an incentive to have the first account through Rooster Teeth, and then you get access to HBO for even like the 90 days, and then
Mhm.
if you watch Genlock and you like it and you want to stick around, then you can.
Yeah.
Think of it
Give it
like
like the Genlock trial.
in a way it's like a paid trial, but you
Yeah.
still get the benefits of being a first member for all the Rooster Teeth account stuff and
Mhm.
all that jazz. I think at least then that would kind of bridge over the cracks a little bit.
Yeah.
But still, this is going to be a situation where it's like I hope Rooster Teeth does hear people's opinions on this, and they
Mhm.
try to maybe give a little bit of an understanding, or at least try to work with it, because we don't know at the moment when it's going to come out.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a release date yet
There
for
hasn't
HBO
been a
Max
release
itself.
date yet. No.
No, so we don't even know if it's going to be out at the same time HBO starts.
Yeah.
If it does, then we'll have to wait and see. But I think from now until it drops, I think there's still hope for a bit of wiggle room from Rooster Teeth. Maybe we can get something to help things out. If not, then it's going to be one of those things where we kind of have to look to the positives as much as we can while we budge through the negatives.
Yeah. And like at the very least, I hope like Rooster Teeth comes out with like some sort of transparency announcement being like, "Hey guys, like we needed to do it this way for the show to
Yeah,
survive,
I'm
and this is
I'm
like
I'm
what's
sure
in the
that is the
works."
case. I'm
Yeah.
sure Rooster Teeth. I'm sure Rooster Teeth did want to continue it, and
Hmm.
maybe they needed the HBO money to help pay for the crewbie, not the crewbie, the staff for it.
What do we
I know.
call the Genlock staff? Like, what do we call
I
this?
can't remember. I think it was the lockers. I can't
The
remember.
lockers? Oh,
Um,
that would make sense.
yeah, but if the pay goes towards them, and obviously they need to pay for the voice cast,
Hmm.
um, and again the payment to get it onto all the programs that it needs to be on. I'm sure Rooster Teeth knows that this is going to be a sour pill for many,
Yeah.
but this is one of those things where it's like maybe it was either crap in one hand or crap with a little bit of gold in the other.
Yeah. And also like I know we're talking about like giving the feedback to Rooster Teeth, but I think more importantly, we need to be giving the feedback to AT&T and HBO cuz you know,
Yeah.
it was definitely AT&T and HBO's decision to do this, not so much Rooster Teeth's.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so it's
totally.
really still up to them on like whether they do give us that compensation of like giving first members that like month-long trial of HBO Max to see the season of Genlock on time.
Mm.
um, so
And
it's
I think it's good that they're doing it at least now, rather than say if it was like further on
yeah,
into
like
Genlock when
hey,
there's a
Genlock
stable
season 2's
audience.
next month and this is what's happening and we have like no
Mm.
time.
Yeah, because like say spitball idea, but imagine if this happened with RWBY. If the next volume came out on a HBO Max,
Hmm.
you are not only doing the same issues that we've talked about already, in like the pricing, the release, and all that, but you're taking a firmly established audience that has been
Yeah.
built up for years, and then you're cutting it and you're limiting it, and you have to force it through a crack in the wall. Whereas
Hmm.
with Genlock, at least it's still fresh. There's still an audience to be built upon, even
Yeah.
with the ones that's already there. I think this is one that's just going to be a case where maybe further on down the line we can look past and say it's the stumbling block that the series needed to get through. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like I'm sad to see it in this situation, but
Hmm.
I'm sure Rooster Teeth, like you said, is something that they were hesitant to do. I'm sure it's something that's built from the higher ups at AT&T and
Yeah.
beyond.
Well,
But yeah, it's something that's going to be something that I'm hoping comes good.
yeah, and I don't want to be like the negative Nancy in the room or anything,
Mm,
but remember, Volume 8 and 9 have already been greenlit and funded.
yes.
Volume 7 hasn't even started, and I've been thinking since yesterday that like they might be doing that with volumes 8 and 9 is they might take it over to HBO. And I'm hoping that Genlock this sounds terrible is like kind of being like the test baby, you know? They're like, "All right, how well does this work? Do we want to risk that with our bigger IP, which is RWBY?" You
Maybe,
know?
but I think that would be the one where Rooster Teeth, like the guys at Rooster Teeth itself, that would be the one where they put their foot down. It's like, no, we don't need to take Ruby to a different streaming service.
Yeah.
This is our baby. We can manage it fine. We're doing fantastic with the marketing and the merchandise. Uh, we're moving forward into new volumes already. Great progress is being made there. There's nothing to really benefit a move to the streaming service. And again, we haven't even got to the point where Ruby could be on TV. We haven't had Ruby on Toonami, and people were
Mhm.
saying that is like a strong prospect.
Yeah.
So if we can get to the time where it's like maybe when Ruby is done, it can move to HBO Max.
Yeah.
I would be great with that because I think that's something you can easily promote then, a finished product that the audience hasn't already had to struggle through all the limitations.
Hmm.
But for now, I don't want Ruby to move anywhere else.
Oh
I
yeah,
think it's fine. I think it's fine on Rooster Teeth. I think it's fine on Crunchyroll. That's the perfect playground for Ruby. And
I totally
yeah,
agree with that.
maybe Genlock is a good testing ground for it in the future. We'll have to wait and see. But again, I'd rather Ruby would be promoted elsewhere when it's done.
Yeah, I'm hoping that like this doesn't happen to Ruby,
Mm.
but it's just like I don't know with this Genlock announcement and knowing that the other two seasons have already, by Carrie's words, been funded, and we know that HBO and AT&T have funded Genlock season 2. I wonder if it's
I,
AT&T.
I think that's more a
money.
case of just like the progress for Volume 7 has been so good. Like the fact that we almost finished everything before the season started, which has been great in terms of like how it's been done in the past.
Oh
I
yeah.
think the fact that Volumes 8 and 9 have already been firmly established to be a thing is more sign of just the progress of the Ruby rather
Yeah.
than just a funding platform.
Yeah, I'm just like used to like bigger corporations, and this isn't Rooster Teeth I'm talking about. This is like AT&T that I'm talking about, where they get greedy and they kind of abuse their power over their customers. Like EA has done this a lot, Activision has done this a lot, where they um, very obviously get a lot of feedback from fans, like, hey, we don't like content being locked behind a paywall when we already paid something for this product, and then they still do that, and they or like Bethesda with Fallout 76 just recently too. They're like, oh hey,
Yeah.
you know. So it's like, don't blame me for going like, I think this dumb company is thinking with their money, not with their brain. You know.
I think you made a good point at all. Vareth just said though, did Kerry say that it was funded or greenlit? Because that's a very important distinction.
If my memory is correct, he said both.
I heard greenlit.
I know he said greenlit, but I could have swore he said greenlit and funded. But
maybe, but I think that's still
it could be I remembered it wrong, because in my head, oftentimes greenlit means funded as well, because it's like, oh yeah, you're gonna have the money when the time comes. So it could be I just mistaken that upon memory.
And I think there's been some like obviously some irksome eyes towards like Warner Brothers over the years of like some of the decision makings and that. I think Warner Brothers has been somewhat decent still for Rooster Teeth, and I think they're still good to come from that. It's more just like how they've handled Genlock, where it's been like have you seen the post from Jeremy about how Rooster Teeth was promoted on the DVD release?
For DVD release of what?
Genlock.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, when you said Jeremy, I wasn't thinking of JM Productions. I was thinking like Jeremy Dooley from Achievement Hunter for a second, and I was like, I'm like, did Jeremy Dooley say something?
For the record, guys, we're talking about Jeremy, who's Unicorn of War's boyfriend.
Yeah.
But yeah, he mentioned that
like Rooster Teeth's almost nowhere seen on the Blu-ray, right?
Like the only trailers from Rooster Teeth products you would see is in like a very tucked away corner on like special features.
Oh gosh.
The logo for Rooster Teeth on the case is very small. I think it is.
Mm-hmm.
I
and
think
then
that
like
is
Warner Brothers
like,
is plastered in a few different places.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest sign that AT&T, that's the one that they've got the biggest hold on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one that they want to take as like, okay, you guys want to have Ruby? Fine. You can stick in that on that market. You can make the most of that with that. We're cool with that. On the flip side, we want to put our money into this, so let us have more of the ball.
Yeah, in that case, it would be more fair than the RWBY is gonna also eventually end up having the same deal.
And again with Genlock still being a small
early
project.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but again, it's still something that you
but large in everything else.
Everything else, yeah. It is still something that's like really that you're kind of doing a bit dirty to the guys behind the project, but. Mm-hmm. Again, we're in this situation now. We're gonna have to wait and see how things play out. We've just taken our first step into this new season with it being a thing.
Hmm.
Let's see how the ball rolls with it.
Yeah, and a lot of this is all just like knee-jerk reaction and not a whole
Yes.
lot of time to
Oh yes.
process and
So much
speculate.
of this is still speculation as well. We don't know. Me and David, we are outsiders. We are
I
not
I don't have an inside guy
knowledgeable
telling
on
me
this stuff.
anything. Yeah.
No. Yeah, we're baking on what we can assume, what we have the little breadcrumbs to build on. Either way, me and David will both agree.
Mhm.
We just want Genlock Season 2 to be good.
Yeah, we want it good. We want the animators treated
Yeah,
fairly.
exactly.
I would like them to simultaneously release on both platforms, but
Mm.
like,
But
who knows?
there's still plenty of time
Still,
for some changes. There's still plenty of time for some new additions, things.
get your pitchforks out.
Yeah, we'll wait and see. But
Mhm.
I think for now we can. Okay, we've had a look at the Genlock situation. I think we can now tuck that away and see how things go from there.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, Veriff made a comment earlier this year. He said like, oh, like Rooster Teeth, they're walking on eggshells. They can't really afford to like make fans any more angry.
Was,
And
was it
these,
Beth? I thought it was Brendan.
was it Brandon? I need to scroll up.
I think
and
I saw that as well.
Where's my Control F and just like type in eggshells? Um, dude, it is so hard to tell where this was.
Yeah, Verif said not me.
Okay, okay. Thanks, guys.
But yeah, I think you are right that it's like Rooster Teeth are kind of walking on eggshells, but I think a lot of it is also just been some very unfortunate time with like everything coming at once, over and over
Just
again.
over this whole year too. Like,
Mm.
you think like Volume 6 at first was like the volume to unite the fandom, and then like last second, everyone just like.
We were in such a good mood. Volume 6 was just like it lifted itself out from the depth. It looked like things were gonna be shining bright, and then stumble, fumble, crack in the road,
Which is
break your mother's back. Oh,
and it's kind of like that weird thing where it's like it's either you liked certain things that happened near the end of the volume or you didn't. And because there's some people like me that's like, I don't think Volume 6 did too much wrong. I think they could have tweaked and fixed the pacing a little better, but
yeah,
otherwise I wouldn't change anything that happened in the story.
yeah. If we're just talking about the product itself, then RWBY was on very fine footing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's then everything else that's kind of even separated from RWBY that's like puts Rooster Teeth in a situation where they kind of have to win back some morale for some people, not for everyone. Rooster Teeth, I think a lot of people would say that yes, the stuff that's come out over the hiatus has been unfortunate. A lot of it sometimes out of Rooster Teeth's hands, like say the Vic Mignogna stuff that's kind of carried off into its own thing, and obviously people losing their jobs is very unfortunate.
Mm-hmm.
But I just think
I
think it's a case where, yeah, I think it's a case where it's like many of us will say, yeah, there's been some good, there's been some bad during this hiatus, but if we're looking at the future, there is still good hopes for Rooster Teeth. There's still a lot of positives to be taken this year. Hopefully, just like any kind of company situation, like video games, have you seen how many game studios have crap years and then come back and have a great year? Like Capcom.
I was going to say
in absolute
Nintendo,
death.
even back in the early 90s,
Nintendo,
almost went out
yeah.
of business.
That's true. Yeah, but like Capcom, Nintendo, how many game studios have they've either had very crappy products or very botched products, and then behind the scenes stuff, Konami, again, that's its own thing.
But
Bungie
like made its way out of Blizzard. It's like I think Bungie is going to start thriving now.
And people were starting to feel positive about Fallout 76 again, and then this whole like new system they got up. Like, every company in every single market will have a fumble. It's just a case of how they build back up on it and rewrite themselves. And hopefully Volume 7 is going to be a good turning point. Even if it's not as great as people want it to be or as great as like the past, so long as it's good, as it rewrites the ship, that will be a big positive for Rooster Teeth. And I think that is a very strong possibility.
Yeah, Volume 6, I have very strong hopes for, and I don't feel like they're
7.
misplaced by any means.
Mm.
Because, like, with Volume 6, they definitely proved themselves in many cases. Like, the writing's better, the animation's fluid,
Yeah.
and then also, like, just the work schedule stuff. They improved that a lot for Volume 6, and then,
Mm.
you know, as we said with Volume 7, they're already practically done before they even started.
Yes. So it's still positives to be gained if you look at it. It's just obviously the negative stuff. Like any kind of negativity is always going to be louder, just because positives is something that you can take with a calm smile.
Yeah, you
Um,
can't go on a rant about Happy.
you, you can, but it'll look a bit awkward.
Yeah, well,
Like,
it's like
I am so pleased with Volume 6.
yeah.
Oh my god, I hope these guys will do fucking good in the future.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Well, it's
You
just
look a bit
like
constipated.
trying to get everyone else. Gosh, constipated because of the bees. Yes. Okay. um,
Uh,
we're like Nicolas
yeah,
Cage, the Wicker Man. Um.
Not the
so,
bees.
um.
But yeah, I think we've gone through the Myers now. And again,
Mhm.
by the way, just because of this whole time difference thing,
Yeah.
David, you're 8 days away. I'm a week away from Volume 7.
Oh,
It is
dang.
scary to think that we are
I
a week away from me.
I forgot tomorrow's like our last free Saturday. That.
Yep.
Oh boy. All right, everybody. Battle stations. Ah. Ooh,
I
that was a good pop.
I'm in this situation where I've got to work on 2 videos, and then I got to get my setup and like how I'm structuring myself
Uh-huh.
for the next couple of months.
I've been doing a very poor job of getting ready for that setup. I have a bunch of videos on my backlog that I am trying to finish editing, and then there's like my backlog that's finished in editing and everything. I just need to upload and schedule the video.
Like, guys, you don't know how hard it is to be a RWBY tuber.
Well, especially when you're doing the reaction video bit, because that's time sensitive on the
Yes.
recording especially.
And you gotta make sure that everything works the first time, because if something botches, that video is immediately in the gutter, or at least not
Yeah.
going to be the best product. But like if you're doing like reviews, if you're doing AMVs, if you're doing theory videos, if you do podcasts, you have to stick yourself to the schedule for a good couple of weeks, and you have to plan in advance.
Yep.
This is a very hectic time, but boy, it's something that I'm so excited about. I get chills every day we get closer to RWBY, because I'm excited to make content to something that I got so much love for, and I'm also nervous as freaking hell for what's actually gonna happen.
You're like, please,
So
please be good for the show, but also analytics, please be nice to me this year, you know?
I mean, like, even if you're not getting like any payments from viewings, this is the best job with the payment of enjoyment, excitement, sadness, fear, stress. Like, how many of us are gonna have sleepless nights? How many nights are we actually gonna have decent sleeps?
Me.
But you know what? I
Yeah.
wouldn't change a thing. I would not change a thing.
I agree.
Dude, I have been doing RWBY content since Volume freaking 2.
Volume 2, dang boy. Okay, you beat me by a volume and a half.
Yeah.
Ish.
I started out with, I think the first video I ever did was analysis of the opening for Volume 2.
Honestly, still the best opening. Don't hit me with hate.
It's a pretty good
like,
one.
I love it. Yeah.
I think he's got the best song for Volume's openings. But yeah, that was the first video I ever did. Then I went straight into like episode reviews. I didn't do reactions until the Volume 3 finale.
That's
boy.
quite the episode to start on. Meanwhile,
Yeah,
I start like the episode after Penny dies.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Like the moment that I was thinking of doing reactions was Fall. Immediately after the Yang Mercury fight, I was like, oh my god, I was literally shaking. I was sat on my bed, literally shaking for like an hour. I was like, oh my god, that was wild. I am shaking. I should have let people watch this.
That was me
I
all throughout Volume
reactions
3.
were becoming a thing.
Yeah, it was me all throughout Volume 3, and like that episode I was definitely kicking myself, and then the next week, Goldfish Memory got me, and having the Rooster Teeth app on your phone is real kryptonite sometimes, because you just like don't even leave the bed. You just pick up your phone. All right, new episode of RWBY. Oh dang,
Yeah,
I should have recorded this.
it's been crazy going through the growth of not just this series but also my channel. Like next month, November, is not just the new volume for RWBY, but it's also like the month I started the channel.
Oh dang.
And it's wild. It's wild to think like that. Almost with every new season of RWBY, I get to celebrate how far I've come as a channel.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to doing videos for the season again and talking with like all the positive theories and like all the even like bringing up all the negative stuff.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
looking forward to seeing how people discuss all these things.
Yeah.
I'm getting emotional right now.
Dude, I mean, it's weird because like you're talking about like volume 2 and like your first reaction was the volume 3 finale, and I don't know about you, but I was super nervous about doing my first reaction video, just
Oh,
like putting your face on camera, but then also like just thinking like, okay, is it okay to put footage up on screen with me? Is it
dude,
like all of that worry on top of it?
I have been nervous with every single video I do, even up to now. Like
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing YouTube content even before RWBY, even before my ThatKaitoDan channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did fan dubs for years, and I was nervous
Okay.
with everyone because people were hearing my voice. I did, for a moment, start doing episode reviews for the Persona 4 anime. Um, that was during my college days.
Yeah.
That channel got nuked. It's like
Oh.
I've been nervous putting my voice out, putting my face out.
Mm-hmm.
I got nervous I think it was like volume 3 or 4, immediately following when Monty tweeted out liking my reviews.
Oh, dude.
Um, yeah, I trust me, I still got freaked out by that. It's like I the first time I put myself to a reaction, I was like, I'm so nervous for what's gonna happen. I am nervous for people seeing my reaction to what's gonna happen. I knew I was gonna cry, and I teared up a lot. But again, it's like this is like the best thrill ride I could possibly imagine, and I did not expect it to become. I did not expect the channel to get as big as it did. I did not expect the series to get as big as it. I
Oh,
did not expect the community
like
to get as big
you
as
watch
it is.
itty bitty like episode 1, and you're just like, oh, this is a cute side project. I hope it lasts a while. You know, I'm gonna
Oh,
enjoy
it
it
looks
while it
so
lasts.
so wholesome.
Like,
I hope
like you're
nothing
just like,
bad happens
oh,
at all.
like, oh, look at this cute little web series. Oh, you know.
Mm.
Also, speaking of when it was an itty bitty web series, uh, I talked to Arnold briefly about this earlier this week on Twitter when he and Cal came out their video of Murder versus the Fandom.
Great video, by the way.
Yeah, great video. I still need to finish it. I'm like somewhere near the halfway point.
Arnold wasn't kidding when he said it was a thick one.
Yeah, with 3 C's, not 2. Um, but he,
Extra thick.
yeah, but he watched it on Crunchyroll, and that was like honestly the last place I recommended anyone watch it because all the people I knew did not pay for premium, and so you just had ad roll after ad roll, and you know back in
Oh,
Volume
no.
1, the episodes were like 3 minutes long, but Crunchyroll still gave it the same amount of ad rolls as they would for a 24-minute episode.
I mean, that's another reason why it's like you won't see RWBY on TV for a while until they do. Because like the best way
Yeah.
to really watch RWBY is either week by week, like
Mhm.
many of us do,
Or
even
in the
beyond
huge
content creators, or if you do the marathons. Like
Yeah.
the complete release is now on YouTube. Fantastic way to watch it, and I hope that's what they're going to do with Volume 6 because I think they're still waiting to get that out.
Yeah.
I imagine Volume 6 will start soon. I imagine we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, it's like that's the best way to watch it, either one by one or through a marathon, because you can't really go for all the emotions and then stick yourself into an ad break because the ads never are timed well to the series.
Whenever it comes to YouTube content or anything, it's like no, they're never good. Like this episode of VYTALCast, if you're not watching it live, the ads are going to be terribly placed because I don't place them, or I don't look where I place them if I do place them myself. So it's like, hey, anyone who watched this afterwards, I'm sorry, ad. Oh, also, speaking of Cal and Arnold's video, I just want to put this out now on VYTALCast. I knew about them like before RTX 2018. Like I've known about them for the longest time, and I've stayed silent. I've done my piece. I'm just like, finally, There were times like keeping it a secret drove me crazy and up a wall. Um,
Just a side thing. No, AC. I'm a week away now because of time difference. When the when the opening for Volume 7 is released, it's
mhm.
gonna be the same day for everyone else, unless you're like in Japan or something. I'm only a few hours away from America.
Yeah. Okay.
Um, but yeah,
Uh,
no, I can't believe that you kind of knew that in like advance. I started to pick up the breadcrumbs with Cal's tweets
uh-huh.
about, oh, I'm going on a trip. It's like,
Hmm.
is that
Oh.
going? I think it is.
Oh no, I
But
knew what the
yeah.
trip was. I knew what the trip
Mm.
was.
I imagine it. I instantly caught it the moment that I knew what the location was.
Oh yeah,
Okay, that's
yeah.
cool.
Well,
And then I just waited.
it was pretty much
I
like
was
once they both publicly said where she was going, it was like, all right, it's I'm still gonna wait for them to say something. And
yeah,
but yeah, it
and
helps when
obviously,
Cal tells you herself like March 2018. No, no, it was
yeah.
like January, February. It was super early in 2018 when I found out. But
Oh, cool.
yeah, you say cool, but there were times where I was just like, huh. um, because
Yeah.
honestly, I would have been running, screaming at the rooftops about my relationship.
Oh,
But
I'm
gosh,
not that good with that. Um, but yeah, just obviously to not dwell on relationships too much
yeah,
because that's personal.
yeah, yeah. I
Obviously,
don't want to
we
gossip.
just say great for those two.
Oh
Hope
yeah,
for the best.
yeah, yeah. I love those two, and I'm very happy. I'm very happy they're both public now, and I've just been like, ah, finally. Huh.
Yeah.
I've been
Nah,
like side shipping for too
we
long.
wish them both the best.
Yeah. Um, Also, I noticed Lee's comment in the chat saying she got an ad right after Penny's arm got bent. And honestly, that is like the worst timing. It's like,
Oh,
oh
no,
no, a death?
hang on.
First
Lee,
Arby's.
what was the ad? What was the
Oh
ad?
yeah, what was the ad? Because that might
Is
make
it
it even
because it
funnier.
if it was a banking ad, I would lose my head.
A banking ad? Like, hello
Use
to America's
change.
Credit Union. Yeah.
Get your
uh,
get your credit cut in half.
no, no, it's a magnet commercial.
Oh,
Sorry. Um,
oh,
yeah.
it would have been great if we had that. I can't remember. Oh, flex tape.
Oh
If it was a
gosh.
flex tape ad.
Yeah, if flex tape was
I
even a
just sold
thing.
this penny in half.
I swear it wasn't until like 2017 Olympics that flex tape would start being a thing. Everyone's like, "What's that
Yeah,
with the Olympics?"
it was for Carl's Jr.
Yeah. What would be the color scheme for people's flex tape in Ruby if they wore it?
I don't know, but look, she said it was for Carl's Jr.
Okay, but what type of Carl's Jr. ad? Because we know there was the time where it was a girl in a bikini dropping food all over herself, or there's like them just showing off the burger. No girl. Like,
Brandon. Brandon. Now that's a lot of damage.
yeah.
Oh,
The banking clan will sign your treaty.
oh no. Right.
um,
Right,
oh, great. B-Master 4 said he got a Trojan Warrior ad right when Pyrrha is about to die. So,
that can't be right, surely.
yeah. It might be a Ninja American Ninja Warrior. I don't know. He said Trojan Warrior thing, so I want to say that's the only show I can think of.
I think of Trojan and it's only one thing, but
No, yeah, I know what you're talking about, and that's why I don't listen to Spotify. Um,
right.
the
Shall
first
we
thing
get on
she's.
to,
Hmm?
shall we get on to talking about Volume 7 now?
Oh yeah,
itself?
I'm so excited. Yeah, Hannah, you guessed it.
Yes,
Yeah.
right on the money.
Yep. Yeah, Volume 7. I'm so excited. Like, especially when we saw. I'm guessing it's Mantle. What we saw.
Yeah, I imagine it is Mantle because Atlas is further inland. Mantle is like the first major city
And
on
it's
the coast.
on the ground as well. But like,
Yeah,
it was a beautiful night scene.
dude, it was like flipping Gotham from the
Yeah,
animated series.
I was about to compare it to Gotham, because
Obviously, not just in terms of like the red sky, but damn, the place looks like
just like the
an absolute
buildings, the
dump.
graffiti, the signs. Yeah, I honestly would not have guessed it would have looked like that when we were shown the sneak peek at
No.
RTX.
Oh, yeah, you've seen the RTX
Yeah,
previews.
yeah, I saw what it looks
Um,
like before it looked nice, and let me tell you,
yeah.
it's what a glow up.
Yeah. Apparently, it was kind of blocky and very
It
like
was,
page one.
yeah. Honestly, like the buildings reminded me more of like the buildings in Volume One, or
Hmm.
in Vale, and I was like, okay, so that's probably like the architecture they're kind of looking for, the style of the buildings and all that, because all the buildings were
Yeah.
still like gray and all, and then they're like beautiful purples and maroons and neon lights. I'm just like,
Yeah, it's
what?
you instantly look at like you get a screenshot of Volume 7 and Volume 1, and it's night and day. Like it's already looking fantastic just from that, and
Mhm.
I just cannot wait to see like what the hell is going on in Mantle. Like Ironwood, you are talking about protecting your people. You have got Mantle looking like a goddamn furnace fire.
Hmm.
What the hell?
Grim criminals,
Oh, the
everything.
what is it like? The sabers with a Y because it's Ruby. Um,
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna get those Santipedas. I think they're like
I think those are in the Schnee
later
dust
on.
mines.
Yeah, and I think that's probably gonna be like a couple of episodes away.
Yeah.
Um, I'm wondering, because obviously many of us have seen the trailer.
Yeah.
Um, do you think all of that is contained within the first episode, or do you think that's coming into like when they're
I,
doing the drop off and they're in their new outfits? Do you think that's into the next episode?
I would say they showed us up to episode 3 at most. But
Maybe.
safer bet would be first 2 episodes. That's what I want to
Yeah.
say.
Because I'm trying to remember with Volume Six's trailer, I think most of it was very self-contained to
The first,
episode. I think it was episode one.
yeah.
I can't remember if there was any kind of shot afterwards.
No, other than what was shown in the intro that we thought
Mm.
was in show.
It would have to be because like the next stuff would be straight into Brunswick Farms, and I know they didn't show anything in there.
Yeah, they
They
did
obviously
not.
wouldn't show anything beyond that, and they wouldn't have shown anything with Cinder and Neo because that was a big deal there.
Hmm.
So it's very contained in that one. So I imagine the stuff in Volume 7 is either strictly Episode 1
Hmm.
or Episode 1 feeding into Episode 2. Um,
Yeah.
and I think Episode 1 might end with them landing and getting that team shot and then straight into credits.
Oh yeah. That would probably be a good one. And also, like, we don't know the episode lengths yet. I would say
No.
these guesses would highly depend on how long the
Uh,
episodes are.
how long? How long was Episode 1 of Volume 6?
I want to say it was around 20 minutes.
Let me see if I can
The
find
first
out.
the first few episodes of Volume 6 were pretty long by RWBY
Yeah.
means. I'm just gonna search Ruby on my Rooster Teeth tab because I still have that tab open for Rooster Teeth
It
series.
was. Oh no.
So yeah, so Volume 6, Episode 1 was 22 minutes, and then we dropped down
Yes.
to like just under 17 on Chapter 2, and then Chapter 3 was the long one, 26 and a half
Yeah.
minutes.
So I imagine we could probably fit everything from the trailer in 20 plus minutes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the first episode, I imagine, is Team Ruby. I'm sure you would confirm, like, dealing with, or maybe not confirm because it's still maybe spoilery,
Mm-hmm.
them fighting off the Grim that was showing off the Saber Grim, and then seeing what Mantle's like, and then maybe meeting up with Ironwood, and then that's resulting to them diving into a Schnee Dust Company mine to help protect their
Yeah.
Ruby. Yeah, because Ruby did say, "Tell us how we can help."
Yeah.
So it seems like there's something going on where at one point Team Ruby will try to help out Ironwood. We'll see how that turns out.
I mean, he might have. Oh, I mean, we don't know what might have happened off screen during Volume 3, but there's an off chance that maybe Ozpin had given him a bit of information of where the vault is in Atlas, for where the relic is.
That's a question I want to ask.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think they will tell Ironwood Ozpin is alive, or do you think they will play close to chess, especially with his sabbatical?
I think, I think they would tell him, but I think the smarter move would have been keep it close to your chest until absolutely needed.
Yeah.
Because he's
I
already
would've said-
freaking out enough.
Yeah, I would have said they would have told him, but I think they'll see the state of Mantle, and then they'll see the state of him. I think Weiss will remember that he's on edge from the last chat that she saw with Jacques, and Crow will be hesitant because he knows what Ironwood is like.
Yeah. Also, I want to say hi to Dashi Lee for calling us sexy in the chat.
Dashi, how's it doing?
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
And Alocat, they said there's no way that Ironwood doesn't know about the vault, unless Leon knew.
No, he'll know about the vault because he's the headmaster. He would be trusted with it.
Yeah.
Kind of like in how Lionheart was trusted with the Haven Vault.
Yeah. It
It's a
just
case of,
seemed
like,
like there was some
how much in the way is
information.
he gonna get?
Yeah, it just seemed like there was some information he did not know about, because if, and feel free to correct me, but if I remember correctly, he didn't know about the Maidens entirely back in Volume 3. It seemed like some of that information was sort of new to him.
I think he was aware because obviously he was in charge of the healing process for Amber.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. Actually, yeah, you're
I
right.
imagine he would know.
Dude, it's been so long since I watched Volume 3, so...
I don't blame you. I'm just very curious to see how the situation with Ironwood goes, because if it goes as bad as a lot of people are thinking, where he's going to be not so much the same as Lionheart, but his own antagonist in a way, we could be having a three-way dance going off in Atlas.
I think he would be more cooperative than...
I think he might.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's going to be on our side by the end of the volume.
Okay.
Regardless of how it ends. Because I think we're going to be in Alice for at least 2 volumes, maybe 3. I don't think we're going to have the big battle of Atlas in this volume. I think that's going to be something for the next volume.
Yeah.
I think our biggest battle is going to be with Ironwood.
Really?
I think we might be in a situation where RWBY and the others are fighting for survival against Ironwood because he's trying to ring them in and basically control him. I think, well, I'll say it in a bit, but I think there's going to be a situation where the volume ends with the heroes either separated out through Atlas, and they have to rebuild and then prepare themselves for the bigger fight with Salem's forces and all that.
Okay.
And they use the furnace of the mines as support to help them. So it'll be the heroes and the furnace against Ironwood and his forces against Salem and the Grim. I think that will be next volume. I think this volume is going to be self-contained to the heroes having to deal with the struggles of being in Atlas, the struggles dealing with Ironwood, and Cinder and Neo to be the major bad guy proxy.
But also, like, not to like complicate your theory even more, but I imagine Jacques and the Schnee Dust Company would probably be a fourth party in this.
Yeah, the Schnees are definitely going to be another element there, especially
because I don't think they'd align with Jacques.
We need to see Winter.
Ironwood. Yeah, I don't think Ironwood and Jacques would align. So...
No, I think maybe not as strong an issue as Ironwood in terms of like the grander issues, but like in a very strong personal arc, especially for Weiss, the Schnees are going to be their own major crux. I also think that Ironwood's biggest dividing factor with the heroes is going to be in regards to Oscar.
Yeah.
I think I can easily see Ironwood trying to convince Oscar to join his side when he understands that he could be the next Ozpin.
Yeah, and try to use like some sort of authority over Oscar to influence.
There was always this thing in the past where Ironwood and Ozpin always butted heads. Like, Ironwood wanted to do things his way, but Ozpin was always a rank above him, or at least able to shut him down. I think in this situation, with Ironwood being so desperate to do anything to stop Salem, I think he's going to try to convince Oscar that for him to reach his potential, to be the hero that he wants to be able to make his mark and end this, is if he works alongside Ironwood, and that will finally give us some goddamn on-screen development for Oscar.
That's been needed so much. Him and Ruby for sure have been needing a bit of development there. But they're like, but they had that one small conversation in Volume 5. Let's go, boys.
Yeah. The biggest thing is I want Oscar to have some scenes talking with other people besides Ruby.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure Ruby is going to be the biggest thing that's going to be holding Oscar to who he is truly.
Yeah.
Especially with Ozpin being his sabbatical. But I want to see him interconnect more with the others, especially with Jean.
Yeah, they got some stuff to smooth over. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Oscar is going to be a huge, so to speak, chess piece of how everything turns out, and also Weiss with her issues.
Yeah, I definitely look forward to seeing Weiss in Atlas again, because we've already seen her kind of worried and kind of shaky on like the decision and going back to Atlas, the place that she just fought so hard to escape, not just once but twice now.
And she's still going to be like unsure, but it's going to be interesting to see how she handles herself with everyone else there, and especially in regards to how Winter may play into things. Like, how dedicated is she going to be to her sister and then Ironwood?
Yeah, and that's if, well, I'm pretty sure Winter would be back for this volume. I know some people.
Oh yeah.
She was abroad from Atlas during Volume 4, so.
If Ironwood was bringing everyone back bar Cordovan, because Cordovan is Cordovan, he will bring Winter back, and then obviously Winter will be back on screen. And especially because I want to see her reaction to Crow trying to rebuild himself.
Yeah.
Because I think Crow's going to have a very interesting arc, I think. Obviously, it's going to be interesting for Crow in regards to Jason Liebrecht.
Yeah.
I think, for what I heard from the trailer, sounds like a great fit.
Dude, I honestly forgot Crow was even recasted when I watched that trailer. I
saw a lot of reactions like that.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, cool. That was a good trailer. And then like, it was like, wait a second, I forgot they recasted the guy. Yeah. Oh man. I want to say hi to Semblance of Sanity in the chat, because they can't be here long. So it's like I want to acknowledge them before they disappear. But
I missed them. Did I see them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there you are. Hey, that's okay, guys. I hope you have a good time with the volume as well. I need to catch up on your guys' reactions to My Hero Academia.
Oh, I'm watching their JoJo Part 4 right now, and it's really
I
good
want to watch
stuff.
that, but I haven't seen JoJo myself, so I can't do that.
They're actually one of the main reasons why I got into JoJo, was so I could watch their reactions. So
that's great.
Yeah.
And also, speaking on My Hero, Jason's Crow voice is very much like his Darby voice, but obviously with a bit more gruff. And I think that's a fantastic take on it.
Speaking of streaming platforms, I was almost to the episode where Dobby is announced in the English dub on Verve.
Ooh.
And then Funimation got removed from Verve. And so I have not heard the English dub for Dobby.
It's very much like his voice for Crow, just not as gruff. It's very just like, think a more laid back but more of an asshole Crow.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not too hard to imagine.
Yeah. Kidnap me Dashi to watch JoJo's like huge backlog.
Yeah. Coming closer, are you? I can't watch JoJo without doing that. Anyway.
Do you have any predictions talk you want to say?
I
got a few more, but I want to let you have a bit more.
I honestly haven't had a whole lot. Like, I imagine there's gonna be some sort of conflict with Blake being in Atlas as well, like with the more of like the higher class.
We need some racism.
Yep.
take that quote out of context.
Oh no, guys, please don't. I don't want Dan to be canceled. It's like
completely out of context, but yeah.
Also,
Blake's gonna be a big part.
semblance to sanity is like, can't wait to theorize, guys. And it's like, man, the only really good theory that I've heard is actually from Jacob and Caleb for Volume
All right.
7, and it was with Ironwood. And they had a totally out there theory that they think when Salem comes to invade Atlas, that Ironwood, when crap hits the fan, will drop Atlas on top of her to slow her down.
Oh.
Like have a whole evacuation plan. And it's like, hey guys, get out fast. I'm dropping this. It just
That would be interesting.
yeah, that would be interesting.
I think,
but it's way out there as well. So I'm like, oh man, I don't know if they're bold enough to do that.
do you at least agree with me that Atlas is gonna fall some way or
Oh,
another?
some way, somehow, yeah.
You can't have a floating island attached to something underneath and not have it crumble.
I mean, like, what if like the vault is part of what's keeping Atlas afloat?
It seems more like it's just gravity dust, but
Yeah, but I mean, like, it
think
could be
maybe.
connected to the gravity dust, and like
what's
as like some
what's the
sort of
relic?
safeguard. It's the relic of creation or destruction. I think it's
I think-
creation.
Yeah, creation spear, because we were all thinking it was like a creation paintbrush with a logo.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the thing as well. Have
I
you
mean-
seen? I don't want to like make it sound like I'm promoting myself, but
Oh,
have
yeah.
you seen my relic theory?
Oh man, when did it come out? Because it sounds
It was
familiar.
a while back. It's the relic beings theory.
Relic beans theory. Let me just double check your channel.
Because it was me discussing like, are there more relic beings in the relics like Jin, and who do I think they are?
Yeah. Who are the other relic beings? Oh, you know what? I did watch this, but it was 7 months ago. So
Yeah,
I
it was a
didn't
while back.
remember. Yeah.
I want to see how that turns out, if there is going to be a relic being. I want to make a bold claim on another one of my theories. I think Oscar's semblance is going to be revealed this volume.
Oh, yeah. That'd be so good, and that would kind of align with him like learning to become more of a warrior and like
Yeah.
becoming himself.
And Ironwood maybe could be the final key to help him get across in that, and then that works in his schemes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And
But yeah,
Dominic
I
Ferris.
would like to see how that theory, and not too much the theory, but like how Oscar semblance might turn out, because I want to see if I get my first ever theory busted or proven wrong, kind of like Arnold when he had his big Maria theory. Like
Oh,
that was a huge reaction from him, seeing how that turned out.
yeah. Dominic Frere is asking like, do I think Dr. Watts will be more interesting? And I think Watts will definitely have a really big
Yes.
part in this next volume because he's
I'm very
from
curious for
Atlas, and he
Yeah.
seems to be tied to like the tech industry. And
I think he's going to be attached to Penny's dad.
Yeah, I was about to say that like he might be partnered with Penny's dad, and like could it? Oh wait, no, I did have a theory. Sorry, I just remembered it. Like Watts was gonna try to implant a virus into like whatever the Penny replacement or
Yeah.
replacements are, because
I think a lot of us are accepting that there is going to be a Penny.
yeah,
Maybe not in this volume, but on the next one. But I think we all kind of assume it.
yeah, because we've already
But-
seen them hack the Atlas robot soldiers, so it's like why not Penny?
And I think another big thing to remember is like, if we're working on how he was able to give a new tail to Tyrion, he's very familiar with making technology in regards to the human body. So I think he could maybe work into that as well. But I think, yeah. I
well,
mean, this
Yang gets a
could-
new arm. Do you think
this
he'd
could
come
be-
face to face with the team to give her the replacement?
No. Oh, that's good. Well, I think the like bulkier attachment to Yang's arm that we've seen in the trailer, I think that's from Ruby's gift from the start of Volume 6. Because you remember it's like, what did you
Oh.
get me? You have to wait and see.
Yeah, we never saw that, but didn't they also like leave the suitcases and stuff behind?
I heard, I think it was Kerry that might have mentioned it. It's like,
Okay.
we may see it.
Oh,
And again, it's the fact that it was like Ruby getting it for Yang. And
Yeah.
then suddenly in this new volume, her arm has some new attachments that basically looks like Emma
Okay.
Celica. Ruby is the weapons girl.
she is a nerd in that department. I agree. Yeah, that I could see where those dots connect for sure.
Yeah. So that's another prospect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Amber, like Amber said, disgraced scientist. I think Penny's father, if she does see, that would play into it.
Yeah. That's Kenny is trying to say like Ruby gave Yang new aviator glasses. I mean, who knows? Who says she
She
didn't
needs
buy more than one thing and put it all in the same bag? I mean, we all do
she
that.
got it from a store called Gurren Lagann. There's a proper like Carmina glasses in a way.
Yeah. And then like, uh, Weiss goes shopping for soup at the belt store. You know. Um,
God damn, the belts in this volume is wild. Like suddenly we get into Kingdom Hearts. All of a sudden,
mhm.
Nomura's got his hands on. It's. Ugh.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for cosplayers.
Yeah. I talked to a few last weekend. That
Mm.
they're trying to make their cosplay for Volume 7, and they're just like, yeah,
It's
I
like
don't know
not.
if I could do it accurate. And I'm like,
It's not just the belts, but it's the cat suit. Like I know it's
yep,
possible because I'm
the
sure
pants
like
with the
people.
zippers,
Yeah.
Weiss's dress.
'Cause
Um,
I think the catsuit is kind of similar in a way to how on for Persona 5 her Phantom Thief uniforms like. So I imagine
okay,
cosplayers will have to deal with the same situations those guys do.
yeah. Um, Also like Jake being like, even Jean has weird belts just up his leg.
Okay,
Eh,
what's
Yeah,
your take on the hair?
it's it's growing on me, but I did
Hmm.
see an alternate version of a new hairstyle for him that looked better in my opinion. But
I it did take me for a loop seeing it for the first time. I was like, God damn, because
yeah,
not only is like very shortcut for him, it's kind of a basic style. Like it's just shorter hair,
yeah, and
but
also with his armor look, like just with
mm,
the new clothes plus the hair, it almost resembles or shadows Cardin Winchester as well.
yeah,
Yeah,
it was the whole Chad thing as well.
yeah, the whole
But
Chad thing.
I do like it because I feel like it's going to be a change for him that is it's the classic you cut your hair, that's you reaffirming yourself to a new direction.
You're moving on, and I think it's also like
Mm,
for people like sometimes when they have longer hair, they kind of like tend to hide behind the hair, and this could be
yeah.
him more confident in himself and like
Because
showing himself off more.
his usual hair is very kind of messy, just like very typical teenager cut.
Yeah.
This is him kind of like sticking to himself, like, all right, I'm focused. I am making myself the huntsman that I want to be, the huntsman that Pyrrha would want me to be.
Hmm.
I'm taking this professionally. It's a professional look, just like with the collar, the more refined armor, in a sense.
Yeah. I think the armor for the most part has stayed the same, other than like the little like neck guard that sticks out, than him having the extra shoulder piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Um,
it honestly like it took me a good while looking at that armor, being like something's different, but it looks
it
the
did take me a
same.
while, yeah,
Yeah.
especially because the hair is just like such a striking new detail.
Yeah, you're too busy looking
Um,
at the hair. You're like, hmm.
yeah. And I like the new looks for all of Team Junior, but like maybe the colors are a bit too bright on Nora's top, like with the very bright pinks and blues. But
Dude,
it's
it's Nora.
all of them look really good.
It's
Yeah.
Nora. She has to be cute and pink. Like, I
Uh,
would argue. I would fight if she wasn't pink and bright, but I can see what you
that's
mean.
another thing. Um, are you aware of like the talk about Nora having a bit volume as well?
Oh yeah, with like a background
Mm.
shown, right?
Yeah, because it was Samantha Island talked about it at a Comic Con in Manchester over in England,
Ooh.
and she seemed to imply that we are going to get some background on Nora, and I think that's going to be pretty interesting because I want to know how the hell did she Atlas all the way down to Kuroyuri.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, how did she get from there to where she
Mm.
met Ren? You know,
Yeah,
because
I think she was definitely a nomad. Like we've seen in like the World of Remnants, where it's like there's traveling families trying to
yeah,
survive, but it's like how do you go from Atlas, the technological center of the world,
hmm
and you decide to go all the way down to Kuroyuri, which is the home of the arts, but then you're also going down to near to the grime stuff and very dangerous, and that's a
I
huge distance to travel.
yeah. I have a small theory off of it just because of how we talked about Atlas earlier, but what if like her parents they just couldn't stand like kind of how Atlas was framed, like they're probably more
Maybe.
controlling and more restrictive on like the freedoms because of security, you know? Because with
Mm,
more security you sacrifice some freedoms, and they probably were like, you know what, let's go to the place of self-expression, the home of the arts, you know,
yeah.
and they'll
And
leave that could be one motivation.
I want to know what Nora's parents were like, because we saw with Ren's parents, like you had Lee, who is the focus, the warrior's mind, and On was the tender side, and
Yeah.
both of those elements bled into the Ren that we know now.
Hmm.
Um, I want to see how parent Nora's parents blended into the bubbling, wacky, loving, supportive Nora.
um here's my guess. Her dad was a big, bulky, kind of chubby Viking guy who like ate lots of
Uh, uh,
food and
Hang
drank
on,
heavily, you know, but he was
are
like,
we are we talking Thor Endgame?
yes, Thor Endgame. That's pretty much what we're talking. Thor Endgame, just
Oh
like drinking
no.
it up, eating lots of food, being a happy Viking. And then her
Nora
mom,
does love her sweets.
yeah, and then her mom is like the total girly girl, like best home mom
No,
kind of person, you
no.
know.
I I want Nora's mum to be a typical Valkyrie, like
Mm.
maybe even like a bit stocky, very tough,
Okay,
almost
so
kind of like
so like flip what I said, pretty much,
yeah, maybe like the
just a
dad is
tad bit.
the softer side, which would be a comparison as well to Ren's parents, where the mother was the softer, the dad was the
Yeah.
focus. So I think it would be cool, and obviously, I just want to know like again, how did we get to Nora going down to Kuro Yuri?
Hmm.
What parts did the Valkyries play in Atlas? Where were they on the totem pole?
Yeah. Yeah. Also, like something you mentioned with the parents and like how they do that. That would also fit in the theme with Ren and Nora because they both kind of like they're the yin
They
and yang to
parallel
each
each
other.
other.
Yeah, they parallel each other very well. Like Nora has all the expression that Ren doesn't express, and then he has a lot of the cunning and smarts that she doesn't show or express a whole lot. I
Plus,
don't know. I'm not explaining the Ren's part a whole lot, but
now I totally get what you're saying, but
yeah.
you're thinking of Ren as well. We still haven't got that thing that Neef was teasing the ever loving fuck out of.
Are you talking about the Renora kiss, or are you talking about something else?
Maybe Orinora kiss? I don't
Because
know.
he
Like,
kind of teased a Renora kiss for this volume, and it makes me very happy.
dude has been hyping up something ever since like towards the end of Volume 6, but obviously Volume 7's it's been told about Volume 7's first episode is basically Volume 6 episode 14
Yeah,
because it's basically the cut stuff that they weren't able to do. They just moved it to a new episode
and
because it
Elizabeth
worked
Warren
out better.
talked to me about that actually, because I
Right?
remember she told me on the RTX Expo floor, and she said this at other conventions since then. But she said that she had recorded lines for Winter and watched the finale of Volume 6, expecting to see Winter, and then Winter wasn't shown. So she's like, "What
Right,
the
yeah.
heck?" Yeah.
So there was obviously a lot of stuff that had to be moved down, especially considering like how early recording stuff would have to be. So
Hmm.
that's why Neef is so excited about phenomenal stuff. It's like, oh, I can't talk about it now. I can't talk about it now. Mm.
Dude.
So yeah, I think we're gonna get. Oh, I. Mm,
Also,
I'm.
speaking of
I'm.
Neith, I hope they try to get him to RTX this next year.
Yes.
He hasn't been to
I want
RTX
Neef to
yet.
get. I want Neef to go into just for. I'm sure it's obviously like working off his schedule as well.
Yeah.
He is so he tries so hard to connect with the fans as much as he
Hmm.
can, and he is such an absolute darling for that. For
Yeah.
trying to connect as much as he can, obviously through like time and language, and
Hmm.
just like trying to. He is such a true gentleman, and I really would like him to get an RTX moment.
Yeah, for sure. He and Chibi, I love a lot.
Yes. Um.
Jake is
We just talked.
asking the chat. He said Neith was at the RTX the first year he was Ren, right?
Yes.
Was he?
He was there. He was there when he was first announced as taking over.
That might have
Because
been.
obviously, I think that was Volume 4 because it was obviously the first time. No, Volume 3 because that was obviously the first time they were discussing
Okay.
Monty's passing.
Okay, so that was
Um,
an RTX I was not at, so that's why
yeah,
I didn't remember.
yeah. I think he was there as like part of the audience, and then they announced them there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Amber,
shall we talk?
Amber's question.
Yes, I saw it as well. Thirsty moms.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we talking strictly drink first, or damn, does somebody really want to get onto some guys?
You know what? Who's to say that thirsty isn't like multiple meaning? It
I
could
don't
be
know.
if it's
The way it's
Weiss's
being
mom.
discussed.
Hold on, if it's Weiss's mom, we know she's an alcoholic because she was drinking out in the garden, but she's probably very desperate for some sort of affection because I bet she gets none from Jacques.
Yes.
You know, so she's probably like
I'm
thirsty,
looking forward to
drunk,
seeing
and
what
then
she's
also.
like.
Just-
But it's going to be very interesting. Not just obviously who is the thirsty mom,
Mhm.
but who is she thirsting over?
Yeah, and it's like I would
I know
say
a lot of
Crow,
people joked,
but I
a
would
lot of
mess with
people
my
joked
snowbird.
Jean as well.
With Jean?
I've seen a lot. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, that would actually work kind of well for anyone who ships White Knight, you know, because it could be one of the things that leads into Weiss interacting with Jean more. But
me personally, getting into like a little bit of shipping, I would be fine if Jean doesn't end up with anyone at the end, and he's kind of like,
oh yeah,
at least not shown, like still keeping true to Arcos.
Yeah.
If he did
Arcos
have
is
to have
my
a
OTP.
relationship, I'd be very interested to see him build a relationship, maybe with Weiss. But that's me light shipping. Like I'm not a firm shipper of White Knight. But yeah, it would be very interesting to see.
If he moves on from Pyrrha, it'll be too soon, regardless where we're at in the series.
Especially just after Argus. But I would love it if Willow, let's call her, flirted with Jean, and then we saw Weiss's reactions like. Like that
Weiss would just die,
and I want to bet that that's the role that Christina has, Christina Lee. I think that's her role.
That, you know what? Yeah, that would be an important female role. I would say that will probably not end this volume.
She said she also had a lot of fun with the role, and I can imagine playing an alcoholic character with some flaws, but also being in such a state that you are trying to flirt with someone else.
Yeah, and she'd be like, Weiss, you said no to this guy multiple times? What's wrong with you? And she's just like all over Jean. Also, with Thirsty Moms, I wonder if like they'll go back to Raven spying on Ty and see if she's trying to re-spark that relationship, apologize, and make good with him.
I thought you were going to say like we go back to Raven and we see she's in bed with Ty just waking up. Like,
all right, I'm
like, damn.
All right, I'm walking out. I'm just kidding. I'm just like, it's like I
thought that's what you say. Like we go back to see Yang, and it's like, like you see them in like it's like
Yang's like, I have happy parents feelings tingling. What the heck?
I think that's something for a different kind of the shipping side. Yep. I also am a.
We could just keep joking about the thirsty moms, but
we could. But I want to throw another possibly upsetting discussion.
All right. Is it DC related? Is it
No.
that one? Okay.
It's not that. I think Maria's gonna die.
You know, with her age, I could see that. Her conversation in the garden kind of foreshadows a bit of a leaving. She's kind of a Yoda character. Yoda dies in Star Wars.
I don't want her to because I think she's an absolute darling. I think she's an absolute sweetheart, and her chemistry with the others is great. But it would be a big moment for her and Ruby, for them to try and build some more lessons and obviously learn more about Silver Eyes. And in her last moment of trying to be the huntress that she was, because obviously she feels guilty about not being able to carry on her work and hiding away, she has one last moment where she protects the others, or is killed in before she even could. But I, I don't see Maria lasting. Maybe not lasting for the volume, but like if there's gonna be a big death, I think Maria's got. If I was a betting man, Maria's got my money.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say if there's a big character death, then I could see that. I want to say she'll survive this volume, at the very least, because we need to get those lessons done.
I'm just saying, like maybe, especially because I can't see Maria hanging around and like waddling away as much as she can at her age in the middle of a gigantic war with, or not war, but gigantic battle with so many players going on. I think even maybe even like during the battle, like
I see what you mean. I just think like we need a little bit more time of her training Ruby, and I'm not sure if we'll get all of that in this volume. But I do see what you mean. Like if you're gonna bet on someone to die this volume, she is on the safer side to bet on, for sure.
Yeah.
There was someone.
I've upset at the chat.
Yeah, everyone's like, "You take that back. We need more Maria." Yeah, and because she also
sorry
stole.
guys.
Yeah, I agree with Lenora. She did steal every scene she was in, so it's also like we've had such a short amount of time with Maria so far. It's like I don't want to cut it any shorter than it already is.
No, but again, it feels like something that's kind of built up for it in the end. Cashews in the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what are the chances she just chokes on a cashew? And they're like, "Oh no, the one thing they didn't teach us at Beacon, the Heimlich maneuver. How do you do that? Do you use something that's also a gun? I don't know."
Didn't see that with preflexes.
Yeah. Maybe that's Oscar's semblance is the Heimlich remover.
I feel like an asshole.
Yeah.
That's a prediction. That's something I got in my head.
Yeah. I do think her or even Ironwood are the safer bets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
At least for this volume, I would say.
Yeah. Oh, hey, speaking of people in Atlas and sort of Schnee related, because we mentioned Ironwood and we talked about Shock a little bit earlier. In Arnold and Cal's video, they mentioned that video by Eruption Fang where he said like, what if Whitley wasn't a bad guy, he's more of a victim. And
right.
What are your thoughts on that?
I do think Whitley is kind of a victim of his upbringing. I think if he was left to grow up as a normal kid, I think he would just be fine. Just like a normal typical kid, maybe even just like a normal typical high class kid. He's definitely a victim of who his father is. Will he do something bad? Will he stay a pawn of his father? I don't know.
I just see him as a great character. I've never seen him as a bad guy. I just see him as a character that you're not supposed to entirely love or hate.
It's kind of hard because like Weiss made a comment like you never liked Winter, you never liked me. So it feels like it's something that from a very young age he's been built up to be the next Jacques. I'm just very curious to see like how much of his father is he? Is he so much of his father that he will willingly cut down anyone in his path to stay in power, including Jacques? Like there's all that theory about like Whitley will backstab Jacques. I remember one fan art picture that has Whitley standing with Neo. Neo is assaulting Jacques.
Wow.
Just like as like a hired hit.
I think I may have seen this at some point.
I think there's a very good possibility that we may see just how toxic the upbringing has been. As for whether or not Whitley is truly evil because of it and because of who he is, I think he is, again, just like he's an unfortunate kid.
Yeah, I agree with that sentiment for sure.
He's one of those people just like it's the sins of the father.
Yeah.
And unlike Winter, unlike Weiss, he's never been allowed to become himself.
Mm-hmm.
He's never been allowed to be Whitley. He's only been allowed to be the
Jacques
son of
Jr.
Jacques.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know there was the question they were talking about, like, Whitley was. They said Whitley was either the victim of his childhood or of being a pawn of Jacques, and I'm honestly on the team both. You know, it's like, it's
Yeah,
definitely both.
it feeds into each other a lot because again, Jacques is such a driving force for all the states of every single
Mm-hmm.
Schnee, the state of Willow, the state of Weiss, Winter. Jacques is the epicenter of the poison. It's just a case of like, will Whitley have a part to play in the events that transpire for the Schnees to move on and progress?
Yeah.
Um, I'm very curious to see what happens to him. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see how much of his father he is.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I hope for him that things do turn to a point where he could kind of back away from being Jacques. I don't think he'll be a totally non-gray character where he becomes a protagonist. I think he'll still be,
I
if
I
anything,
want to.
Whitley will become his own person, but he'll be more about himself than other people.
Yes, Klein. I want some good stuff for Klein. I hope he survives. He's the best boy there.
Dude, if we find out Klein is jobless at the beginning of Volume 7, I will have issues with the Schnee
He
family.
would have had to take the fall for Weiss leaving.
Yeah.
I would like Klein to be like a part of the resistance, so to speak, or like maybe he's snuck into the Faunus mine and he's helping out people on the slide. He might have even been thrown into the dust mine and he's forced to
Oh,
work there.
as like
That would be
punishment,
interesting.
like, oh, you had the benefit of working here at the manor, but now
Yeah.
you're going down to the
Um.
mines where it's very dangerous and you might just disappear on your own.
Yeah. Just left to wallow. Like you have to pay for your crimes, even though he's not doing anything bad. But
Mm-hmm.
this is the hand that Jacques would deal someone. But going back quickly to Whitley,
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised if come the end of the Atlas arc, because I think we still have some more traveling to do. I think we still need to go to Vacuo.
Yep, still have to go to
I
Vacuum.
think there's a very good chance as well we may go to the Dragonland.
Oh yeah.
I would not be surprised if the Atlas arc ends with Jacques either dead or disposed of in terms of like being in power.
Yeah.
Whitley is saved from being as much as his father as he could be. And since Weiss still needs to travel with the gang to fight the major battle, she entrusts Whitley with control of the Schnee Dust Company and like managing things there because he is still being able to learn how to run the place. I'm sure he would be able to manage it for the moment.
Yeah, he'd be a good placeholder to say the least.
Because straight away, like one of the immediate thoughts in my head when this series starts is like, I imagine at the end of the series, Weiss will be in charge of the SDC.
Yeah, I've been on that as well.
Yeah, and I think for now, that will be her end goal. But this is not the time for that.
Yeah, it's like, saving the world, running Dad's company.
Yeah. So I think Whitley will end up in charge of the SDC on a temporary basis and will try to rebuild himself and the company for the moment until Weiss comes back and they can try to be a family again. And then hopefully, if Winter stays alive, she tries to manage the Atlas military, depending on how Ironwood ends up.
Yeah, and with that, I think we've had an episode of VYTALCast. So you could go
I just
to
noticed
sleep.
as well, we haven't even gotten into talking about team up.
Oh no! Crap! I mean, hey, that's both a good and a bad sign. You know, I could always change the thumbnail after the fact, or I could just leave it and let everyone figure out for themselves.
Here's what you could do: you can check out the video. I know it sounds like I'm pimping it again, but like you could, if you want to see what I'm talking about in terms of like the RWBY team up, go see my most recent video.
Yeah, it was honestly a very good video. I watched it. There was one character who was like an obvious choice, I'd have to say, because she's best
was it the
girl.
first one? Was it my attacker?
I forget the order they were talked about, but it was
attacker, defender, support Wildcard?
I I think she might have been the wild card.
Well, no, because the
No.
Wildcard's a male. Spoiler
Oh,
alert.
just kidding. Just kidding. Then it must have been your attacker.
Maybe. But yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so if you want to see what we're talking about, go watch that video.
Yeah. And oh, Lenora actually said she just finished your video and she got the notification for this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
She just couldn't get enough of you, so she came here. So
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching, and if you want, check out Dan's video. It's very well put together. And then
Can I do a little bit of a self promotion again, just quickly?
Oh yeah.
Sorry. I just want to give this a little shout out. Actually, I want three things to shout out. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
One, happy birthday to AG Non-Such on
Yes.
Twitter.
Yep.
If you haven't seen her work, she's the RWBY artist that does a lot of stuff with ducks.
Yeah.
Happy
I love
birthday
her to bits. She's an amazing person. Hey,
secondly-
thank Blade Charge for subscribing.
Cool, thank you.
Yeah.
Secondly, by the time this the full podcast might come up, there might be a new video from me, and with Amber is a Pokemon and Ruby pairing project.
Oh, I've been waiting for that video to come
Yes.
out. I've seen you guys talk about it. Yeah.
We are almost done. It should be coming out either this weekend or maybe Monday.
Okay.
It's me and Amber giving the Ruby characters some Pokemon as if they were Pokemon trainers. So
Dude,
be on the lookout for that.
I am so excited for that.
Yeah.
November is going to be a good month for both
Oh.
Ruby and Pokemon, so I think that
November is
video
so good.
is like
I am gonna get
perfect for you
Pokemon,
guys.
and I'm gonna play Pokemon on my plane ride back to the UK for Christmas.
Good choice.
yeah. Definitely go check out those videos. It will be part 1 on Amber's channel, and then part 2 on my channel.
Mhm.
Again, either this weekend or not. And also another quick self promotion. I am part of a comic dub for the comic Project Valkyrie.
I had
that
in my
also
notes
has
to talk
Amber in
about
it.
this as well.
Yes.
Gosh.
Just a quick little shout out. It's on Webtoon. It's called Project Valkyrie, and it's done by the artist on Twitter, Zachary Morgan. I'll leave a link out in my Twitters and that. I am the voice of Hanusuke Watanabe, and the episode where I debut alongside Amber as one of the other characters as well just dropped on YouTube. So definitely go check out the comic dub for Project Valkyrie and the first volume of the comic itself on Webtoon. It's been absolutely fun being a part of this project. We were actually involved in Zach's article in, I think it was his university,
Oh, really?
actually promoting the project, which was fantastic.
That's pretty
So
awesome.
yeah, go check it out. It's a fantastic project, fantastic story, and yeah, also give a big shout out to Amber for her voice acting. Mwah,
Mhm.
Fantastic stuff there.
Awesome. Well, guys, go. Also, just subscribe to Amber as well. Like, she's in the chat.
Yeah.
Go subscribe to
Go-
her. You just
Go
click
follow
on her
Amber, she's
username.
fantastic. Subscribe to everyone. Definitely subscribe for every single RubyTuber out there, because
Mhm.
guys, it's here. We
The
are
volume
a
is here.
week away.
You're gonna
And
have
trust
your
me.
400 tabs open to watch all of us at the same time.
We are in a very good position, even with everything that's happened in this hiatus, the highs, the lows. You guys are gonna have so much fun with us, with all the content we made, the reactions, the reviews, the AMVs, the gag videos, the theories, the cosplays, all the tweets. Guys, enjoy yourselves, because guys, we are here for some Ruby goodness again.
Yes.
And I cannot wait.
Awesome. All right, guys. Bye.
Bye.